Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Anne Manera, and welcome to another live color along. Here it is, Thursday, the 1st of July. Can you even believe it's the 1st of July? I can't. Remember back in 2020 when we were saying, when is this year going to be over? Well, guess what? Here we are. July 1st, we're halfway through, and we're still coloring, right? So, are you all still coloring? I know a lot of people started coloring during the pandemic, and it helped them get through it, and it's interesting to find out how many people are actually still coloring, even though we are kind of like getting back to normal. So I just wanted to say good morning to those few people that are already here with me this morning, and I appreciate it. Linda's here, Cynthia's here, Judy, Mary, who else do I see that's here? So if you're here, it's our first time here watching a color along. I see a lot of new names actually. Feel free to say hello, comment. We've got a live color along if you've never watched before. We color live from one of my color along books. I'm already on volume 16. Volume 17 will start sometime in the fall. And each book has 22 pages to color. And it is filled with a variety of different pages that are filled with different types of coloring tutorials. So, hey, Jean Mellinger. Lynn, good morning, Lynn. Lynn is saying I colored 4 pages from your new mandala book last night. Lynn is talking about my new mandala book called Mandala Fury, which is on, it's live on Amazon. It is out. I have another book that is making its way to Amazon, a grayscale coloring book called Architectural Beauty. So that's making its way. This morning, we're going to be covering the bolding technique, and the bolding technique with colored pencils is what I'm doing. If you'd like to share out this video, I'd appreciate it. I'm using my variety of Marker Raffine and Crayola colored pencils this morning in my little case. And we are going to be coloring a page in the bolding technique, which is a technique that can be found, good morning, Christine, in one of my coloring handbooks. And I have all 3 volumes with me this morning, and I wanted to introduce to you, well, first I got to give Scarlett a biscuit. Good morning, Mamie. First I want to introduce to you volume 3. So volume 1 is already out. It's been out for about a year, I guess, right? I think all of these are out in a year. Didn't I do all 3 in a year? I don't even remember. Did I? I think so. So this is volume 2 came out in 2019. Volume 1 came out in 2019, and volume 3 came out in 2021. Yeah. Here you go, dog friends. Please go lay down. We are done with the biscuits. So if you've never seen these coloring handbooks, these books are a combination of coloring techniques and step-by-steps and tutorials, and some of them have some different types of articles in them or challenges, and I wanted to share that with you this morning because we have a little bit of time. Good morning, Alice. And I wanted to share that with you, but not only do they have all of this how-to information, but they also have, hey, excuse me while I move my camera down a little bit because I feel like it is not in the right spot. Not only do they have all of this neat information that is really kind of what I go over during a live color along, but they also have 24 coloring pages in each book. Plus they have swatch charts. So I want to show you volume 1, just in case you have not seen it. And for those of you that are watching, good morning, Chris Castelli, how are you? For those of you that are watching, I see a lot of people watching that I know have this book. And I kind of advertise this book as you've watched countless hours of my color alongs. I've been doing this for, this is like, well, volume 16, right? Times 22 color alongs. So you do the math. I'm not going to do the math while I'm live. Then I might make a mistake. But here is volume 1, and there's all of these different coloring tutorials in this book. So blending and shading, and I'm just going to do a flip through of this. So it's got some information about me, then this little kind of cool page about your coloring hobby, how to photograph your page, get social benefits of coloring, tips and tricks, etc. Table of contents, and then it's got a color wheel that you can use as your reference, a list of coloring supplies. This book has a list of blending solvents, And then we have step-by-step for gel crayons on this one here over to the left. And then each of these tutorials, whether it's a step-by-step or a tutorial that gives you information, has the worksheet over to the right. So these books are available on Amazon, and they're available as a PDF on my website also, but I kind of like the actual book. What do you all think? Because the book is just really kind of, it's just a workbook. And I think I was talking to a couple of people last week. Was it last? I think it was last week. And they said they had been working on the third volume that they had purchased. Here's gel pens, again, a gel pen worksheet. So the worksheet is for you to apply what you have learned on the tutorial page or the instructional page to the right side. It is not about a step-by-step all the time. It's a sum up. Some people think that this is like, you're gonna take it, I don't know. This is just a handbook. It's a reference book to have. This is 3D coloring pages. Stained glass technique is a step-by-step, and here again is another worksheet. Creating textures with tape is another one in here. The wood grain technique, again, step-by-step here. And then some of these tutorials, here's Cray Pot Oil Pastels. Some of these have not just a step-by-step like that, but for example, colored pencils blending. It's a lot of information that is provided to you. So a lot of, you can read it. I gotta get Casey something. Here, take this and go to your place. Go ahead. Go lay down. Here. Come on. So this describes a lot of information. The same thing with colored pencil shading, giving you a lot of information on this one. And same thing with pointillism. So here's another one about pointillism, again with a worksheet. So chalk pastels is in this one. Impressionism, again with the worksheet. Monochromatic along with the worksheet. Just a number 2 pencil along with the worksheet. We should all say it together, right? When I do that, you should all say it. It's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. All right, so then there's a glossary, and then there's some resources. And then it moves on to some notes pages. Same format for each book. And then some coloring pages. I don't think I added the swatch pages to the very first volume, but it's a variety of pages from a variety of my different coloring books. And each of these gives you a description at the bottom of where the page is from, what book it's from. So then volume 2 continues on, right? Coloring techniques, tutorials, and creativity exercises in this one. So this is a little bit different. And color wheel and a worksheet for the color wheel, so you can kind of take it a step further. This has also coloring supplies, but then it moves on to the meaning of colors. So because different colors mean different things. Colored pencils basics and different terms, because we want to know what that all means, all that gibberish means. And then some exercises on there. Doodling patterns is in this one. Grayscale photograph coloring, which is one of my favorite. How about you? Gemstones is another one that made it to this book. How to draw a simple flower. And then here's the practice drawing more flowers. This talks about paper tooth, because we talk about that a lot. This talks about the light source. Where does that light source come in from, and how do you know? It goes over different the form shadow, the cast shadow, the light side, etc. Watercolor pencils, blending with a white colored pencil. Tea stained backgrounds. We did this during a live coloring. That was a lot of fun. Transferring a coloring page to another surface. Lynn says, I need to sit down with the books again. It's been a long time. Yeah, I've never flipped through all 3, because this is the first time that volume 3 just came out recently. So this is my first time flipping through all 3. Watering glass with colored pencils. And here's one of the exercises that I think I had printed out. So this is an example of what you do with this page. So here I am. I've taken what I've learned on this page and applied it to this page. Hey, Heidi Thorne, happy Thursday. Then this talks about different backgrounds and what do you do with that background, because a lot of times the background is there and it's bigger than you want it to be. So do you leave it alone and leave it as just that negative or white space, or do you actually get really creative and, put your creative hat on and really apply things to the backgrounds. Then this book has different articles, and the way these articles came about is that this one's about digital coloring. And the way these articles came about is that two things. First of all, I have a master's degree in art, but it focuses on media studies. And what that means is it focuses on all things media, website, podcasts, different types of devices, how we get our, hey, good morning, Sandra, how we get our message across in the media. What are we being told? It just is a very broad, it basically covers everything that has to do with media when it comes to what we see visually, what we hear, and what is presented to us. So these articles are based on that as my background. They're also based on a podcast I have called Art Spot, and you can hear it on everywhere you can hear a podcast, but this is where these articles came from. So if you want to listen to the podcast, that's where some of these came from. So this is all about living a creative life. Here's another page that talks about creativity and perfectionism, because a lot of us think that we need to be perfect and we don't. Jean Mellinger saying they are great books, especially for beginners. I agree. Thank you for saying that, Jean. I appreciate it. Creativity and self-doubt, because we're all doubting ourselves, because we're all not good enough, including myself. This looks like crap, right? Can I say that? I can say that. And this looks really horrible. And it's funny because every time I finish a book, every time I continue drawing, finish the whole book, create the whole thing, I flip through all the pages and I try to pick a page for the cover. And each time I say, well, this is horrible. This is the worst book. And I start hating every page. It's this whole creativity and self-doubt. And if you're a creative person, whether it's fine art or performing art, you are going to self-doubt yourself, and you're going to have, it's not, you wouldn't have, I mean, Sandra's a performing artist. Sandra is a musician, and she sings, and she teaches voice, and I think that Sandra, I think you'll agree with me, I'm going to go out on a limb here, but if you're really that confident about what is about to happen, then really, you got to put your ego aside. So if that ego is going to get in the way, I think that you have to show your vulnerable side through the whole thing, and that's where that self-doubt comes in. So what do you do with it? So this article will give you some information. Overcoming creative self-doubt. What do you do? And here's some different steps, like join an in-person group or class, or stop looking at others' work and comparing it to yours. Big thing that I did. Well, I knew this, but I still fell in that black hole of doing that. Sandra's agreeing with me, true, right? Then this book also has, hey Bev, hey Diana, creativity exercises, and there's 4 of these. So here's a limited color palette, imagination workout, creativity exercise, which is the 10 colors. And again, here, what do you do with that white space? Heidi's saying, I often leave lots of white space, especially if it has a big featured subject. Yeah, because sometimes you want that subject matter to pop, right? So, hey Bonnie Hughes. Again, resources and a glossary in this one, and then notes, and then we move on to a whole bunch more coloring pages. 24 coloring pages. These books are $24.99 on Amazon, and they have a lot of information in them. So volume 3 is my, I did volume 3 because everyone kept saying you need another volume, So one of the things that's different about volume 3 is that I had the paper changed. I chose a different type of paper when I published this with Amazon that is not as shiny as the first one. And for all of you that have all 3 volumes or have volume 3 plus 1 or 2, you'll probably notice that. And at first I opened the book and said, oh, I don't really know if I like this. But then I realized that it's much easier to color on. I tried to go back into 1 and 2 and change the paper, but they wouldn't let me. So here again, color wheel, and then here's a color wheel worksheet, but a little different, a little more advanced than volume 2, if you notice. So I tried not to have repeats from one volume to the other. Coloring supplies is a repeat because you gotta always kind of have that. This includes tips and tricks. So create greeting cards with finished coloring pages. Like, what do you do with your coloring pages when you're done with them? Or keep a pencil sharpener nearby. Little tips and tricks. Complementary colors, and then a color palettes worksheet. These are taken from my color palette book. I have several of those on Amazon. Contrasting colors, again, it talks about contrasting colors. And then this gives an example of cool, warm, and neutral colors. Erasers, we always talk about what's the best eraser. I was talking to someone yesterday and they said, wow, I have this black eraser and I love it. And I'm so sorry that I didn't include the black eraser in this list of erasers, but it's really, I think it's comparable to the white eraser. So, how to frame a coloring page. What do we need to know about that? How do you decide where to put the page, how big to make the frame around it? What do you do? Highlighters and colored pencils, we've done that in color alongs. Again, a worksheet or an exercise here. Blending with markers, again, worksheet. And these have some different examples of blending with markers. Here's kind of a gradation that you can follow along with. Speckling, that's a technique we did during a color along. Again, here's the practice worksheet. What I did with this book that was a little bit different than the previous 2 volumes is that when it came time for the worksheets, rather than having just rectangles and squares, I decided to use some illustrations from my Little Boxes coloring book, or Tiny Houses, and maybe even from the Gnome book. So I decided to add these little illustrations. Color pencil strokes, it goes over 5 different examples. Lynn says a black eraser is great on canvas. Yes, it is. And the black eraser is what's on the top of a Ticonderoga black number 2 pencil, which I made my favorite pencil. Coloring with coffee or tea, and this is a little bit different than staining the actual page. This is about actually coloring it. So here's again an example where you can use these illustrations for that actual exercise. Bokeh background, people talked about, hey, you've got to do the bokeh background, right? What's the bokeh background? You know, a lot of people get a little confused about it, and really bokeh is just, that's an effect that's created when a lens is basically out of focus, or it's basically forces the subject matter to be popped into the front and be completely into focus, and the background to be out of focus. And that's how you get, and it ends up creating kind of like little orbs. So that's what the bokeh situation is. Grayscale illustrations is in this book. Again, a practice sheet. And sepia, of course, you had to include, similar again from Tiny Homes. Different sepia color swatches here, little examples, because it's not all about brown. Sepia can be kind of a red brown, or it could be a goldish color. So that's sepia. Marbleizing is in here, how to create that type of effect there. And again, this has different books. So coloring as therapy, and then I did a little bit of an article about the mandala, kind of giving you a background about it, different colors that are used in a mandala, and what they mean, what happens to a mandala, where are they from. Finding your creative style, again, another article, kind of springboarding off of my podcast. Using art to heal, really, really important. Many of us use art to heal in many, many different ways, whether it's to escape something that is bothering us physically, emotionally, or mentally. Distraction is the name of the game when it comes to healing, right? You want to distract yourself from whatever ails you and forget about it and just go on and move on, right? So creativity exercise, again, is in here with these more intricate pages. Again, 25, and here's 2 more of them. They're a little bit different. And then resources and glossary, again, in this book. Some notes, and back to 24 more coloring pages. So these books are a combination of coloring books and tutorials. So I hope you can check these out, share with your friends, visit it on Amazon. If you've purchased it, if you could leave a review on Amazon, that would be super duper helpful. And let's get started today. So thank you for spending time with me and watching me flip through that. So there'll be links to each of those books in the comments as I'll add them as we're going along. Bolding, what's bolding all about, right? The bolding technique is all about making those lines bold that are on the outline part of it. So we've got these black lines that the illustration is created with. So here's our coloring page, and I'm going to take say, for example, let's use this color right here. This is a Faber-Castell Art Grip Aquarelle, technically a watercolor pencil, but I'm going to use it dry. And I am basically going to go over my lines in a bold fashion by adding a red color on top of my black. You're never going to be able to get that. Well, let's not say never, right? Because you don't want to ever say never, because you don't know what's going to happen. Never say never. You probably will not get that black line to completely disappear. Now what's going to happen inside here is I'm going to do a lighter shade of this same color, or something that will either contrast it, or maybe maybe the same color of it, or I could use a lighter color, a lighter pencil. But for this one, let's just use this particular color here, and let's see if we can shade so that we can talk about, there's a light source on this one. So let's talk about that. So if there was a light source here, we would kind of divide this in half, and this side of it on the right would be lighter than this side. So I'm going to make this side much darker, and we want to kind of see that transition. So these are the types of things that are in that book. So I guess it's really a companion to what we've been doing all along for color alongs. And if you've been following my color alongs for all this time, first of all, I appreciate it. But second of all, they go hand in hand. So there's nothing that you're going to see in the coloring handbooks that is different than what I'm doing in color alongs, because I kind of wanted it all to be together and be all part of one another. All kind of like the same family type thing. So I'm kind of holding my pencil on a little bit of an angle. I don't want to say 45 degree, because maybe it's a little bit less than that. And I do want to kind of go around the bottom section here on the left with a little bit of a heavier pressure. So this side here kind of becomes like the shine. You know, like when you look at an apple and you're like, oh, look at that little circle of white. The apple's not really white, but the light, the way the light is hitting it is making it look white. Now in this section here, I'm going to go a little bit different. I'm going to do the opposite of what I just did here. I'm going to start here, and then as I go towards the left, I've made it a little bit lighter. That makes sense? It makes it kind of have like a contrast there. Scarlett's got something happening in her world. I don't know what's going on. She keeps barking at something weird that's going on outside. What is it, honey? Come over here, baby. Come here. Come here. Stay here with me. How's the black eraser for erasing colored pencil? I don't usually erase colored pencil. But I know a lot of people do. So that's that bolding right there. So we're just basically getting those lines to be bold. Now you could use marker and colored pencil. You could use crayon and colored pencil. You can use, doesn't make a difference. Really, you can use any medium for this technique. This one is a marker Raffine. I don't know the name. These are just numbered. Marker Raffine number 524 always makes me feel like I'm at the Westminster Dog Show. So again, I'm adding this purple line. So it's darkened. Now this one is a little bit darker. I'm not really seeing the black on this one as much as I'm seeing the black on the other one, on the first one I did. You can make these thicker than what they are. Now for this one, I'm going to make it a little bit thicker on this side. And then I've got this purple color, this kind of wine color, I guess. Now let's see what I have that we could use for the middle that would be similar to that. But it's a different shade. So I'm going to use this one right here. It's a little bit different. You can kind of see, here's one. Well, actually, this is more of a pink, isn't it? So let's see, maybe we should use pink. I didn't did not realize that that was pinker than it should have been. So I'm going to use pink on the inside of this vase, or urn, or jar. I don't know, I don't really know what to call it. Vase, right? Boy, we had such a crazy storm. This is reminding me of this, like a pot, a flower pot. We had such a crazy storm last night. Anybody else have crazy weather last night? It was like huge wind. I don't know if there was hail. I stayed inside, but there was a lot of lightning. Huge. Weather's been crazy. Everyone's been getting hot weather. Perfect time to stay inside and color or paint. So here's my pink. I've got my light pink. This is a Crayola pink. Making it very light. And then I'm going to use this color again that I did Loud Rain in New Jersey. Yeah, it was awful. It was very, very bad. And of course I was going, well, I did look out the back door because I just put up a gazebo in my backyard about a month ago. And I guess it was a month ago. Boy, time flies, doesn't it? And I was so afraid it was going to just like get taken with the wind. But the only damage was a pot of a tomato plant I had in a pot that was on the ground when I went out there this morning. It was awful. Heidi says, yup, lots and lots of rain over the past few days. There was even a tornado warning in the middle of the night last week. That's right, I saw that, Heidi. Heidi, you're in Chicago, right? Are you in the Chicago area? Did I see that there was a tornado warning, or was there a tornado in Chicago? Maybe you're not even in Chicago and I'm not even thinking of it. Plus the heat, right? The hot weather. I don't know. I just think yesterday for some reason I just wasn't even, it was probably, I think at one point I looked and it said that it was 97 degrees outside and the feel like temperature was 110. And for some weird reason, I wasn't even hot yesterday. Matter of fact, yesterday morning I was freezing. So, what do you think? Do you think you're getting used to the heat, or I don't know what's happening? Sometimes I think Chicago, yes, one ripped through the suburbs about 10 miles from us. Oh my goodness. Do you usually get, you don't usually get hurricanes, tornadoes in Chicago, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mind if it's hot, right? But I do mind, but then again, I'm not standing in the middle of the street. Hey, Melody, I'm not standing in the middle of the street. We're talking about the weather, Melody, and I'm going to admit, I'm not going to lie, I do miss winter. How about anybody? Does anybody else miss it? I know Melody does because we've talked about this. I miss winter. I mean, I just can't help it. I'm going to use this turquoise color for the middle one right here. Let's go. Lay down, baby. Lay down. You got to say, a few snowballs hidden in your freezer would be a welcome relief the past few days, don't you think? Now look at this. We've got this one that is next to this, right? But here's this guy. I do too, Bonnie. I miss it. I miss this quiet. I miss the silence. I miss the cool air that's easy to breathe. 98 degrees yesterday in Jean's neck of the woods. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I'd rather be hot than cold. I like daylight almost to 9. Oh, I don't like that part. I don't like the daylight. But I don't like when it gets... Well, I don't like when it gets dark at 4:30. I think we all need to just move to an island and create our own little utopia. Mary says, I'm not looking forward to winter. Well, I mean, let's think about it. If when you went outside you weren't very cold, but it was still winter... I guess maybe we just need the optimal temperature. I mean, I don't want it to be 0. I don't want to have 2 feet of snow that I have to shovel. Right? But I also want to be able to breathe. I mean, 110 feel like temperature is a little much. Plus the humidity has been terrible. Oh, I was talking about this. I'm sorry. I got distracted by winter. Okay, so this part right here. We've got our bold line here. And that is for this one that's back here, for this pink one. And then I've got this one that's turquoise. But I'm not going to put a bold line here for the pink, and I'm not going to put a bold line here for the blue. Okay? So this way they'll stay, the hierarchy of where the placement of the images will stay in the right place. So we know that this is in front, this is behind the red, this is behind the blue. Florida is cooler this week. Is it really? Yeah, what about those people in that high rise? Been watching that on the news. That's been kind of crazy. Mid-fall is good. I agree with you, Mary. Doesn't last long though here in New England, does it? Doesn't it? People think that in New England there's like a really nice long fall, right? And we're all like, you know, out in the pumpkin patch and apple picking, and it's like one day it's hot, one day it's summer, the next day it's winter. It's like fall is like 5 minutes, you know. Mid-fall is good though. Last year we had a really nice fall. It was long enough. The trees had a good color on them. But I don't like when there's just no fall. And lately, I don't know, it just has to be, we just need to create our own weather. Yeah, I don't like it, like the daylight being later either, Melody. I don't know why. I just want, maybe it's the way I don't know. You know, they say that your body is on its own little clock, right? So that's not the clock I want to be. I guess that's not the clock I want to be on. I don't know what I want to be on. You know? I mean, are you a night owl and you want to go to bed early? Or you want night owl or you want to go to bed early, I mean. The foliage is beautiful in New England. I totally agree with you, Mary. Incredible. I mean, there was one photo one year that I took just standing on my back deck. Just these trees. I mean, I'm in the middle of a city. I mean, I'm not like in city like, you know, I see no trees. There's a lot of trees here. So, it's just incredible, the foliage in New England. I hope that next year it's going to be good. I'll have to get some good photos. So now this one is this green color, and I'm sticking with this green, just very light in the middle section. So it's not really, it's not, you're definitely seeing the difference here. And of course you could also add a couple of different colors. I think I will add like another green color to this. Just coloring this whole area, a bigger area. This is a good green. This is a Crayola green. Lynn says, I like staying up late. I don't like when it gets dark early, as I don't like driving in the dark. I don't like staying up late. I feel like I could fall asleep at the drop of a hat lately anyway. Yesterday, I sat down on the couch to just sit down for a minute, like around, I don't know, I think it was like around 3. And no, actually, it was around 3 o'clock. And I'm sitting there, and finally at like, I don't know, 3:30, I said, I should get up. And I said, okay, just one more minute, I'm going to get up. The next thing you know, I opened my eyes and it was like half an hour later. Why does that happen? I didn't even realize I was tired. I just like closed my eyes for a minute. And it was like, poof. It's like that show I'm watching that Bonnie Hughes has. Bonnie, you have me hooked on that show, Manifest. Have you finished watching it? Man, that's good. That show was very good. Not scary, but a lot of subplots to that show. Anybody else watching Manifest on Netflix? All right, what other color are we going to add to this one? We've got kind of some basics, right? But we've got to add some orange because it wouldn't be the same without orange, my friend, orange. This is light orange, which is much darker than I expected it to be. This is a Crayola. My mother called me at 6:15 last night. She woke me up from a nap. Oh, I would if I was asleep at 6:15 at night, I would never sleep at night. You know, ideally, I feel like I want to be asleep at 8 o'clock and I want to be awake at 6 a.m. I don't really think I could actually sleep 10 hours, but that's a long time, isn't it? Bonnie says, I can't find the 5th season anywhere to watch. The 5th season is the last season, so I don't know the outcome of all those people. I heard that it's going to be canceled. How about that? Did you hear that, Bonnie? So there's 4 seasons on Netflix? I thought there was only 2. Is there a 5th season? I heard that it was going to be canceled. And I don't know why. People are all up in, you know, what do they say? What's the word? Up in arms? Why do they say that, up in arms? What does that mean anyway? All up in arms over it. Maybe they have their arms up. See, you watch a live color along, you never know where the conversation is going to end up. For those of you that have been watching me been attending for a while, you know. So Bonnie, how many season 5 on Manifest, Heidi is saying on the NBC app on Amazon Prime. Ooh. How do you get that? Do you have to just have Amazon Prime? Oh, brother. I think there's only 2 seasons on. Is all of Manifest on Amazon Prime, Heidi? I'm still on season 1. Somebody was describing it as very terrible, as horrible acting. But, you know, I'm not sure if I would agree with that. Some of it is okay, but some of it is, I mean, obviously a little far-fetched. But imagine being like, catapulted into the future like that. That would be crazy. Let's go with these 2 blues right here. This is a good blue. This one's actually an old style Prismacolor Premier. And this reminds me of, this is a very vintage pencil. I don't even, if I tell you how long I've had this pencil, you'll probably say, you can't be that old. No, seriously, this pencil, I've had this pencil for a very long time. This reminds me of those those Duent Chromaflow pencils. Remind me of the old style Prismacolor. I wish Prismacolor would go back to this style pencil. All of Manifest is on the NBC app. However, to see all the episodes and seasons, there is a charge. Oh, I don't want to have to pay for that. I pay enough for my cable TV. Every time I go to look, it's up, up, up. I mean, for everything. You know? They say get rid of cable. But then you've got to pay for all the streaming, right? So, seems like you're in the same boat. Yeah, I don't want to pay for it either, Bonnie. I don't blame you. But I definitely would want to know, because now I'm confused that I only have 2 seasons. Oh man, what have I done myself into, Bonnie? Maybe I shouldn't have even started it. Maybe I needed to just figure out what I was getting myself into. Do you think maybe that's what we should have done? Like, what have we done? All right, let's go with some brown for the next one, for the one that's behind here. This one is actually called Brown. Somebody was having a very bad day when they named this pencil. They were not feeling their creative juices. Just brown. They must have been, I don't know. I always wonder about the people that name the pencils. All right, I'm going to color this in here with tan. Another one that was like, let's do it on this side. I always wonder about the people who name the colors, who create the names for the colors. I want to be that person that says, I'm calling you, I don't know, whatever. Like, what color would, like, when you think of, like, what color maybe the word manifest would, like, if manifest was the name of a color, what color would manifest be? I think it would be dark blue. Does anybody else see words in color? Maybe those are the people that name the colors. That create the names. The people that see the words. I see the word, the days of the week in color. Friday is orange. Thursday is like a bluish gray. Does it happen to anybody else that's watching? Or at this point, have you just said, that's it? Lunatic. I'm watching a lunatic. No, seriously. Does anybody else see colors like that? This is actually a nice combination. This brown, even though it's just called brown, I guess maybe I was wasn't giving it enough credit. And then now we've got this bottom table here. And I'm going to go with this brown, which I think is a different one. It's called light brown for the bottom table. Now, I am not going to make bold lines underneath everything, just this line here. And then I'm just going to color this whole area in at the same pressure. I guess I could make like a darker color on these lines than the frame. You don't, Bonnie? I do. Monday is hot pink. Well, Monday's red. Wednesday is hot pink. So this would be Friday, Thursday, Sunday's yellow. Tuesday is kind of an orangey yellow. I can't really describe it. I can see it in my head, but I can't really describe it. All right, now we've got this background color here. I'm gonna go with this one, which is called Mahogany, which to me, to be honest with you, doesn't really look like mahogany. It looks more like a red. So Mahogany to me is more of a brown tone. And I'm starting out with a heavier pressure at the bottom, and then I'm just gonna kind of ease up on my pressure as I get to the top. So all of my color alongs are now available. Well, not all of them. Let me back up for a second. Volumes 10 through 16 color alongs are available on YouTube right now, and I'm working on adding every volume. So I'm working my way backwards. So I've already uploaded volumes 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, and then volume 16, I've uploaded everything we've done so far. And then after the color along is over, for example, after the color along is over today, then I will upload this video to YouTube. So if you want to binge watch, forget Netflix or Hulu, right? If you want to binge watch a live color along or a recorded video from a color along, you can go over to YouTube and do it. Much more easier way to watch it than on Facebook sometimes. And then I'll be uploading volumes 1 through 9. My goal actually was by July 31st to get them all uploaded, but I'm not sure. I've slowed down a little bit, so I don't know. Depends how much, if I'm on a roll. Depends how fast my internet speed is at the time. Sometimes I've got to download the video, then I have to upload it, then I've got to add the description. So it's not, I can't do it all automatically. I wish there was a way to upload them all at once, but I'd have to download them all at once first. So that's what's been happening. The other thing that's been going on is that on Mondays, we actually have a new session starting on Monday, July 5th, this Monday coming up, are my painting classes. And the painting classes are typically live, but I've made a change, and they're going to be pre-recorded, and which means you can watch them anytime you want. You don't have to worry about being there on the live day. And the other thing that's going to be added to them are some step-by-steps, like similar to what you see in the coloring handbook. And then my draw-along classes are doing the same thing. So if there's still time to sign up for that painting class that's happening. It starts on Monday, and eventually I'll have some individual painting classes that will be kind of on-demand videos. So that's kind of the goal. And then draw-alongs are moving to pre-recorded also, and every other week is when the draw-along video gets posted to the draw-along group, and you can watch those anytime you want. And there'll also be some step-by-step kind of step-out tutorials going along with those. I'm adding some white onto this. think I'm going to do that to this one also. Just kind of get it to be a better blend. What else did I want to tell everybody? Oh, and the other thing that I'm doing is starting on July 14th. I have a 4-week, it actually meets every other week, but it's 4 sessions to learn Procreate. So if you're somebody that has an iPad and you have an Apple Pencil because, you know, your friends told you to buy the Apple Pencil, and you're sitting there saying, what have I done? And I have no clue as to what to do with this. And you want to learn how to actually use your Apple Pencil to maybe draw something or write with it, or, I mean, basically kind of, or maybe someone said, oh, I think you can paint with that. And you're sitting there saying, I have no clue. And you've watched these videos and the videos have confused you even more. I'm teaching a 4-week session of a Procreate class for the complete beginner. And we'll basically go over step by step. And we'll be able to draw a mandala. Each week we'll work on a different project. We'll draw a mandala. We will we'll draw something in charcoal with Procreate. Procreate is an app you can get for your iPad. And what else are we going to do? Lynn's excited about the Procreate classes. It's going to be July 14th and 28th, and then August 11th and 25th. It will not be pre-recorded though. So we're not going to record that. Lynn, that class is not going to be recorded. We're going to meet in Zoom via using Zoom. So that's what's happening with Procreate. So I'm excited about it myself. We're going to learn all those little functions, like what is everything? What do you press to do what? How do you change your brush? How do you get new brushes? How do you draw something? How do you save your file? How do you import something? So we're going to be going over all of that, and you can take a look at that. If you went to my website, annemanera.com, over on the top now there's a little link that says workshops, and if you look at that, the workshop is there, and there'll be different workshops added to that section. All right, so let me just finish this one with the white. And then this page is going to be complete. Heidi is saying, well, as with all seasons, there's more questions at the end. I know, huh? All the major characters are still around at the end is the hint, except for the one who has vanished into oblivion. Do you mean the woman that's the doctor? Vanished into oblivion. I've been busy? I know, I guess, right? You've been busy too, Lynn. I don't know. You're catching, I feel like you're following me along. You're keeping up. All right, so the other thing that's happened with the July calendar is up on my Facebook page. So if you've not seen that, go over to my website too and click on events, and you'll be able to see the July calendar. There's a color along happening on July 31st for a book from Nola Hinsel. That's going to be exciting. August, we're already kind of looking at August. I have 2 color alongs in August for other artists. One of them actually is Heidi Thorne, who's here with us today. Heidi's color along will be on August 15th. It's a Sunday. And then on August 8th, I have a live color along from another coloring book too. I can't announce what it is yet, but Heidi's will be on August 15th, and we'll be sharing the details with everyone over the next week or so. So that's going to be exciting. And then I guess that's it. The one kid disappears in Manifest. Oh, that kid Cal? Oh, brother. Okay. All right, so next week we'll be working on neutral colors. Then we're going to make these gnomes pop right off the page, shoot them out into the future. And then just 5 colors. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you can join me again next week. We're moving along with this book, that is for sure. I can't even believe we're almost, I think we're halfway through. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 9 color alongs left after today. So we are definitely more than halfway through. This book actually ends on September 2nd. But again, replays on YouTube. So, hope you have a great day today. I will see everyone next week. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone.